The next challenge is a fun one. We are going to virtual pick a combination lock. Well, sort of. There is the intended and a little bit harder way, and there's an easier, I wouldn't say unintended way, but a more like hacking the game kind of way. You probably guessed that I took the easier approach, but I'll attempt to show you how to do it in the what I consider is the intended way. So let's see what this challenge is about. And for this objective, we need to leave Christmas Island and head to the island of Misfit Toys. I already navigated my ship over there, so we're going to go to the Skrelweir Yard. And once you dock to this island at this beach, you will see the luggage lock objective appearing. It's 1 out of 5 Christmas trees, a pretty easy one. There is an elf right at the docks. We're not going to talk to this elf because that's where you can get the objective for the bonus fishing challenges. I'm going to leave that one till the very last video. And instead, I'm going to head down. Yeah, there's some images that are seemingly AI generated for the Misfit Toys. And the elf that we're looking for is Garland. So let's just position ourselves properly. I'm going to quickly go through the dialogue. So the biggest hint for this challenge is really the talk from Chris LG, if I remember correctly. He, let's see, talks, lock talk. It's from Chris. So he explains how these combination locks work. It's a very common, generic way how you can pick these locks. You apply a little bit of pressure on the lock and then turn the wheels until you find a position where it kind of sticks, and you, well, you kind of poke around that, that position, and you continue that with the other wheels as well. So with a couple of tries, you should be able to open most of these combination locks. These are very common in luggages, but there are also padlock versions of these. The challenge itself is offering you to do some practice rounds, so you can just practice on one wheel. I will demonstrate maybe up to 2 wheels, and then I'll make an attempt to the 4 wheels. Probably won't work, and then I'll show you how you can take a different approach on this challenge. So the challenges do have 2 of these lock picking ones. There's going to be another one, which again you can do it the intended way and the hard way. The challenge here has an explanation on how to interact with the interface, so you can apply pressure by pressing in this button, and then you can click on the upper and lower half of the wheels to turn them. That's pretty much the idea here. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different levels of depth with the pressure. If you go and apply, was this 5 or just 4? It was just 4. If you apply maximum pressure, you will see too much resistance on the dials, on the wheels, so they will not turn. Instead, you want to go somewhere around like 3, and then you keep on turning it until you see that there's some resistance here. So here, the combination is probably a 9, and then if you push the button all the way, then the lock opens. So this is just for practice, to get accustomed to the interface, and you can try to master this technique. Okay, so there's some resistance on 9, so 9 and 8. And you would think that, oh, this is pretty straightforward, so 4 wheels will be easy. That's where it gets a little bit more challenging. So I will make an attempt here. probably give it a couple of tries. So 8 was the one that was kind of sticking, and then 2 and 1 as well. So see, it's pretty hard to decide now for the second one. Where's resistance really? Okay, maybe it's 8. And I think resetting it is making it a bit more straightforward. So with each turn, you want to play around with the pressure. Okay. 2 was promising here. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one here. It clicks a couple times here, so it's still no. As you can see, you need to play around here quite a lot to figure it out, and eventually you will get it. But is this the best way of doing it? I mean, it's a challenge over a computer to do lockpicking. I really like how this was implemented. I'm pretty sure. I guess Chris was the creator of this challenge. I'm pretty sure he put a lot of thought in it to make it feel like actual lockpicking, and it does. It really does. Like, it's amazing how realistic this is, because these dials, these wheels will not perfectly turn. Sometimes they just get stuck because the way you apply pressure. So it takes a lot of trial and error. It can be very frustrating. Sometimes you get it right the first time, sometimes you don't. Alternatively, however, you can just bring in the developer tools. So let's take a look at what's going on with this challenge. I wonder if it properly selected the frame here. And it's all just JavaScript. I'm going to copy here the entire JavaScript so it's a little bit easier to go through the code. I can also apply maybe some nice highlighting. So let's do JavaScript. I think it's more appealing to the eye. And you would immediately probably bump into the unlock zippers function. That sounds very promising, huh? So we can give it a try. I have bad news. So this is just the animation itself. It will not give us the challenge, unfortunately. So we need to try a little bit more here. Okay, let's just make sure that I got the right context here. Okay, so moving on. Okay, not unlock zippers, them. There's set pressure, and there's this one here, attempt open. So this challenge communicates with sockets, web sockets, and if you use burp, then you will see the underlying messages flying here. But by just looking at the code, it's fairly straightforward that there's a socket emit for sending a message, which is going to be type open, and then the combination is passed on as an attempt, depending on how many dials do we have. So each values are going to be appended to that attempt. So that means that if we try something like just the one wheel, I'm going to get a little bit of code that I prepared. So that means that if we do it with just one wheel, this should be pretty easy, right? I can send a message like this one for 0 and try it. And if I fail, I can do a 1. And I was lucky this was the actual combination. Obviously, I don't want to go through 10,000 different combinations like this. So what can I do? And this is a pretty naive approach. There are probably better ways to do this, but because the unlock zipper is just the animation, you really need to send in the message, or at least fool the application that you got a success on your try. So some WebSocket manipulation is required. So instead of trying manually the combinations, why don't we create a loop? And this little piece of code here is just one single for loop. It tries all the different combinations. Oops, I need to be in the right context, as we learned it from the snowball fight. And then it's just quickly going to send in all those WebSocket messages and unlock the combination. So this works on one single dial. Cool, but we need to do it on 4. And you can do the same thing. Again, a very, very basic code here to do this. Console. And now one thing that this will generate a ton of messages, and it's probably eventually going to disconnect the WebSocket. If we're lucky, based on my very low number of samples, somewhere around like 4,000 requests, the WebSocket gets disconnected and we have to try it again. It seems to be a bit more stable without an intercept proxy like burp or zap or whatever proxy you prefer to use. So this is just 4 for loops going through all the combinations. There's 10,000 of them, so it should be fairly quick. Did I have the right context again? Okay, hopefully this is running. Oh, there. So we got lucky for this try. Sometimes it might take like 2-3 tries, but by the nature of how probability works, you probably need no more than like maybe 5 tries and you will get a success. Ooh, I didn't remember this animation. So unlock the luggage, fantastic. So that's the easy way, but you can also, of course, go through, give this little trial and error lockpicking a go. It is fairly easy to find, and you may have a luggage that has combination lock, so you can also give it a try to this technique in real life. In real life, it might be a little bit easier even. Okay, so we have our achievement. Let's talk to the elf. And okay, it's just a very, very happy little elf here. So that was all for the luggage lock. Let me peek real quick. What's going to be the next one? Oh, it's Linux privilege escalation. So we're going to continue with that one. And there's going to be one other lock type of challenge, same kind of deal. There is the hard and intended way, and there's an easy way. The easy way is even simpler than what we did with the 4 loops here, but I will try to show the intended way as well. It's a little bit finicky. Sometimes the way the unlock checks work will not get it right on the first try. And there is a very useful page from the one and only Semicom car for that one, but more on that later. Let's move on to the next challenge.